Hello, everyone, and welcome to our monthly live on YouTube. So sorry we're running a couple minutes behind. Technical difficulties happen with lives. But I'm so glad you're here today. I want to make sure you know that my man Zach is also here. He's always here with me.
Yes. A little stressed on a Friday, but we're here. That's all that matters.
It's Fun Friday. What
Exactly.
are you talking about?
Exactly.
No, so we're good to go. The first thing we were going to do, as promised, is go over any questions that you have had on YouTube throughout this month, any good ones that we want to bring up and answer for you live. So Zach, you got anything for me?
I do, as a matter of fact. So obviously, thank you to everybody for not only joining us here, but thank you for the questions and comments and things like that on the YouTube videos and all of our other social medias. So the first question here from YouTube, Mark asked, is there a course that you sell removing business application inquiries that were put on your personal credit report? I tried several times and they deny my dispute.
So I assume you're referring to the inquiries from getting the credit. Is that the way you understood it, Zach? Also?
Yeah,
Okay.
or even denials as well. You know, applying for business credit and
they
being
get
denied.
Okay. I mean, inquiry removal can be done on your own. We do have some literature we provide to clients in order to do that. You also can use credit repair companies to do that. We we always recommend Kadam Credit Repair or Kadam Credit Help.
There you go.
They do credit repair. So we usually recommend them to all of our clients. However, you could use any credit repair company to assist in inquiry removal. But like anything else, you are at the mercy of the bureaus. So you have 3 bureaus, and maybe you'll get one that says yes and 2 that say no, and you may take a couple rounds of doing it. That's the nature of credit repair and inquiry removal. So we do provide it to our clients as far as some literature on how to do it yourself, but we don't provide it here as the service within our company.
Excellent.
else you
And
got?
and also specifically to their question, we don't offer anything in house.
No.
Legally, that's not something we can do. However, as Amanda said, we do recommend Kadam Credit Help. They do some amazing stuff. So let's get to the second question here. From YouTube, Billy asked, "Can this be done on multiple businesses, or is it per person?" And they're referring to the actual credit card stacking process.
So for credit card stacking, you can only do one business at a time. So if you own 3 businesses, so you want to do one at a time. So you can, over the membership, use multiple businesses, but we only recommend one at a time because remember, it is using your personal credit to get those approvals. So you don't want to get all these different things going for different businesses. So you'll always want to use one at a time, but you can use different businesses for different rounds.
Yeah, and we've had that question tons of times because people, they'll have hands in a lot of different kind of baskets. And, if it comes to, the decision between getting a boatload of money for one business versus a little bit of money for every business, we've typically found that the larger amount for one just makes more sense. And you can always kind of invest in other things if need be. But next question here from our Facebook, Yolanda asks, do you work with startups?
Absolutely. Actually, funny enough, startups is one of the ones that we can help more than a lot of other funding options. So you don't have to have 10 years in business or anything like that to get started with Fund&Grow's membership. So we do have the ability to do sole props. We can use the date of when you started with that business. So the IRS has a way that you can, file those. You do only get one sole prop forever, so you can't have multiples. But we can assist you in getting you set up with that. You also can set up a new LLC, which again, seasoning is very quick. So startups is one of our easiest ways to get funding is through Fund&Grow. Outside of, if you're getting a business loan, you got to have so much money in gross receipts every month and all of that stuff. We don't have those requirements here. So startups, this is kind of one of their easiest options out there, as well as a sole prop versus an LLC. We can work with any type of entity, no matter which way you have it set up.
Well, there's so many people who also always ask about, why does my personal credit matter at all in terms of getting business credit? But if you're having a startup, that is a benefit in this case.
Yes.
Because the idea is instead of just basing it on, hey, here's this brand new entity, I pinky promise that it's going to be a success. Instead, it's, okay, the business may not have the long history that most banks want. So instead, what if I showed you that I'm really responsible with my personal credit, and then we just put it on the business side?
Right. Exactly.
However, speaking of something that you just mentioned, our next question from Instagram, Fernando asked, do you guys help with forming an LLC?
So we do assist with that. We do have literature on how to do it. We also can assist in getting it all set up and getting the EIN number. So it is part of the membership that we assist, because some people, even if you have an LLC, maybe it's not the right lendable entity. Ari talks about lendable entities on the webinar every time. There's one on YouTube if you need to see it. But we want to make sure you're in the best lendable place. So if we feel that opening a new one is going to be the best case, that's what we're going to recommend for you, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to assist you with that. That's all part of the membership in the advising and coaching realm that we do within the membership.
Not to mention the fact that, yeah, even beyond just the lending side of things, like you were saying, if it's something where we have a client who wants to get into real estate, the sole prop might be the answer to get the funding in the door, but an LLC would be the wiser choice in terms of your actual, like, earning money entity, not just a sole proprietorship, especially for something like real estate. So we definitely can assist with all of that. Other questions here. Jake from Instagram asked, I recently bought my first vending machine. Could I use a business credit card to buy more? What if it's from a person on Facebook Marketplace and they don't take credit cards?
Amazing question. Works for everything but vending machine. Super awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could use business credit to buy your next vending machine. You could use it to supply everything into the vending machine that you're putting in there, because sometimes you got to front that up, when you're starting out. So business credit can be used for that. You also have services that allow you to send money to people who don't accept credit cards. They're just a regular person. Cash advance, not normally the best way to go. So there are services out there. We do give you those referrals within our membership as well. You can find them. You can Google them. I mean, I know there's some, I think if it's a true personal one, you could probably use Milio or Zelle, things like that. But we also have ones with the business side. So business credit cards can be used within those services. I think Bill.com just rolled one out recently. We're looking into it. Probably get you some more information on that here real soon. Probably have Zach do a little video for you on that one. But Plastique is always one that we recommend. And again, it's a way to wire money to somebody who doesn't accept credit cards, or who you need to wire because that's what they prefer.
Absolutely. And actually, we have a question that just came in the chat. So thank you, everybody who's jumping into the chat here. That's exactly what this is supposed to be for. So Lisa asked, hey, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Lisa. Do we need to have the $4,000 fee on the day we sign up?
Amazing question. No. If you go to our website and you look at the sign up page, you will see three options. There is a payment plan option to pay 3 payments over, and they're 30 days apart, spread out, and there are some other options that are in there, or 2 payments spread out. So we do have other options. If you have additional questions on how you can set that up and how you can potentially use the funding to pay the remainder of your membership, give us a call. Or go to the sign up link and you can sign up with those payment plans there. But we would love to get you started today. We're here for you. The number to call is 800-996-0270 and select option 1. That's going to bring you to my business development team, and they would be more than happy to go over all the options for payments so that you can be able to sign up but not have to spend the full $4,000 right out the gate.
Excellent. Excellent. Another question we've got here. Suzanne on Facebook asked, my business credit card from Discover shows up on my personal credit report. Is it supposed to? I thought this was supposed to be separate.
So there are these couple of cards that will show up on your personal, but that is why we typically do not go after those ones unless we don't have other options.
Right.
Zach was in that role of doing negotiations before, and there's a couple of those lenders who do. Discover is one of them. So we stay away from it unless we need to, or you want it. Like if you're wanting it, but we make sure we let you know before we do it if it's going to be showing up on your personal credit. It's just the lender's preference. So typically you won't see us offering Discover as that initial, one we want to go forward. But some people might have some bad relationships with the main lenders or something, and we've got to look at other options. But that's very targeted. I know, Zach, you've probably seen that before on your side as well. But yes, Discover is one of the ones. Is it Capital One?
Correct, yeah.
Capital One's the other one that typically reports even though it's business.
Yeah, and for those as well, they are, as much as we try to stress it to people that, business should just be totally separate. Both Discover and Capital One, they are genuine business cards. Like they've got rewards and they've got, some have cash back. They are traditional business credit cards, but for whatever reason, those two lenders decided a long time ago, we want to report these to personal anyway. So as Amanda was saying, there are cases where you may want that, But by and large, if we're trying to keep things separate, which is what every accountant's going to tell you to do, you want to avoid those types of banks. And actually, that was such a great question. I think we need to make like a full-blown video. I want to talk about things to know before you're getting involved with business credit cards. I have one more question here from my homework. Thanks to Liana for helping me out with this. Joel on YouTube asked, I think I have a few dings on my credit report from years ago, but I haven't looked at it in a long time. Are you able to take a look before I sign up?
Oh, absolutely. So if you call into the office, we can do a pre-qual. It's a soft pull, doesn't hurt your credit, and we can take a look at your credit profile, see what those dings are, see if they even matter. Because sometimes if there's a long enough time in between the dings and now, it's not going to matter. Some lenders are going to forgive certain things also. Like, you know, if you had a late payment that's 3 years old, that's not something you really need to worry about. Now, if you have a bankruptcy from last month, that's a different situation.
A little more severe.
So give us a call. We can absolutely do a pre-qual. There's no charge to do it. We want to make sure that you're set up for success. We want to make sure that we give you all the best, you know, avenues of getting your business set up and getting your business funding going. So that's what my team is for. They are here. Give them a call. We absolutely can do that for you.
Excellent. So I'm wrapping up questions for now, but real quick here, I wanted to do sort of a kind of plug almost. So at 3:30, about 15 minutes from now, we're going to be jumping off of our YouTube Live and going exclusively to our premium coaching call. We do this the third Friday of every month. Amanda and I will be talking about quite a few things from our monthly focus. And also answering more exclusive questions, more in-depth questions. We basically have almost an elite group of entrepreneurs that are part of this separate program that we all kind of meet up once a month and really discuss what's going on with their business, what's going on with current trends.
Yeah.
And so we'll be on there for about an hour. So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, you can actually join us in that. We have a link below that will allow you to sign up as be a part of this premium coaching membership, and we can have these kinds of discussions once a month. So that's my little plug for this now that the Q&A is done for the time being.
Yeah, and to kind of give you a little bit more clarity, it's not just the coaching call that we have on that. There is a monthly little fancy magazine here that goes out called the Prosperity Pulse. There's other member benefits. It's all on that link. If you click it, you can see everything that you get with that membership. It is $50 a month, but it's totally worth it. And I do stay on for as long as needed usually. I mean, we've gone over an hour on some of those cases. So actually today it looks like we're talking about, let's see here, building connections to build your business. So basically just networking and connections that build your business, affiliate referrals, how that all works, and you know, how do you nourish all of that. So that's just a little bit teaser of some of the things we're going to talk about, as well as it's driven by the members, so they will bring other topics up that we talk on the fly.
Yeah, we discuss all kinds of levels of business as well, not just the ones that are full-blown, you know, well-oiled machines. We go with ones that are just starting out. In fact, I do have a question from one of my favorite names on YouTube. Weapon X is asking, is premium coaching included with the membership?
It's not included. It is an add-on. However, when you sign up, you do get 30 days free to check it out first. So it is an extra charge. It's $50 a month, and you don't have to be a member to get it either. So there are people who either haven't signed up yet because maybe their credit's not ready, but they want to be in the coaching, or people who've already gone through the program and they want to stay with the coaching. So it's not both. You can do either or. You can do both, but it is a different charge. But it is, like I said, it's $50 a month, and it's totally worth it. It's a lot of information, and we're getting ready to launch the new portal, which will have a lot of stuff in it as well. So that will have a lot of referral sources and things that we're building to keep adding to that elite premium coaching side.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite little pet projects here.
Yeah.
Some of the discussions we've had, the guests that we've had on there have been fantastic. In fact, did we have some of those old subjects that we were talking about in the previous insider scoops and all that? I thought we had that pulled up somewhere.
We do. And when you get into if you sign up for the premium coaching, all of the stuff we've done in the past is available. So it's not like you lose it. So you're able to get in there, see all the old articles, see everything that we've done for, when did we start it? Like 2010, 2011?
Something along those lines.
So there's a lot of material in there. So that's all available also. And when you do sign up, you get the 30 days free. You do get all of that for those 30 days. So you can really check it out and see what it's all about.
Right.
So let's get into a couple topics that I wanted to talk about today.
Okay.
So one of the things that we work on a lot, like this is like an ongoing thing, probably the other pet project of my marketing team, is online reviews. So anytime that I'm talking and building relationships, that's like the first thing people look at, right? If you're looking at a partnership with somebody who's already in business, you want to look to see what's their presence online, but not only presence, what are people saying about them? So we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to give you little key things about online reviews that we've learned through the 15 years we've been doing this. As you can look us up if you haven't already and see that we have a great presence online. Our reviews are amazing. We linger right at that 5.0, like right there. We're like right below it, right there. It's like 4.99 sometimes, but you can't always be perfect. That's just how that works. You can never please everybody. It's kind of one of those mottos I have, but we try every time, even when we get a negative review, to let it work for us. So,
well, if I can jump in, especially with, let me actually jump in. When it comes to a company like ours, because we're so service-based, the absolute proof has to come from reviews.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got something tangible, then it sometimes can be a little different. But for us, we can say how, successful we've been and how many, entrepreneurs we've been able to help. But ultimately, the truest form of proof has to come from the former clients. And so that's why since the beginning, we have been absolutely laser focused on reviews, because for a service-based industry, you live and die by that. So that's why this is so close to our hearts. And, obviously the best way to get the good reviews is to provide the good service. That's the number one.
It's number one.
What they say about, a best offense is a good defense or whatever, same kind of thing. It's like the best way to get a good review is to just be that good product. And so that's first and foremost out of the gate.
If you stay true, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the old saying that the best marketing is word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
That's how businesses started out. So this is just the new age way of having word of mouth. It's a way to have word of mouth on a national or global level, depending on what you do. So looking at that, that's really important. But a couple tips that we've learned, we've never done this, but looking at other companies, is don't create false reviews. It's really bad. Don't do that. As much as you might starting out think, oh, let me have all of my friends do these reviews really quick, even though they're not clients, that can really, really hurt in the end. You don't want to do that. You want authentic reviews. Sometimes you can even like pinpoint and find those. So don't do that. Don't at all. But, don't be shy. Always ask your clients and customers for the reviews. If you're not asking, the amount that you're going to get is very minimal compared to asking. And there's a way to ask without seeming desperate or seeming like you're going to give them, like, don't give them anything. You can't do that. You just want to say, hey, if you really liked my service, it would be amazing if you could give me a good review online, or just give me a review online. Let me know how I did, because you know what? That's my next point, is don't be afraid of the negative reviews. Always use the negative reviews as a way to make improvements and build trust with those future clients, or even bringing back clients, right? So if somebody gives you a negative review, no matter what it's for, use it and really do a self-reflection to see, why did you get that negative review? Was there anything we did wrong? Is there anything we could fix moving forward? And is there any way to make that person whole? Because if you make the person whole and they go back and they update the review to explain the rest of it, that's amazing. Don't be afraid of letting those reviews kind of guide you to make sure that you're staying true to that customer service experience. I know just recently I did that with an employee review. An employee left the firm or left the office and wrote a review, and these things are public. So I reached out and was like, hey, let me talk to you. Let me see what's going on. Why did you write this? And in the end, it ended up being a great conversation, right? It ended up being that it was really a misunderstanding, and we were able to clarify it, but also see if there's anything we need to change. So that's kind of how you have to look at it from all angles. You don't ever want to be afraid of those negative reviews, because sometimes it also helps you find those bad apples in your company.
True. Well, the number one thing about, like you said, getting somebody to come back and update their review and have that good story. Everybody loves a comeback story. So if it started rough and then you went above and beyond and really helped bridge that gap, and they come back and say, you know what, I changed my mind, this is actually fantastic. Everybody loves a comeback story. The other point that you made about coming out and asking for a review, I absolutely think it's a necessary thing because human nature, when something goes wrong, we are immediately, by nature, looking to put a negative
Fueled.
review up.
Yeah.
You're fueled by spite. You see all those Amazon reviews and things like that, but you might go out and have a great dinner at a restaurant and you just go, well, that was great, and then that's the end of it. So it's when you're fueled by anger, it typically makes the review process seem a lot faster, a lot easier. So sometimes you have to remind people. You got to be like, hey, glad you had such a great time, glad that you got what you were looking for. Would you mind putting it down on paper? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we forget, and it's a lot easier. Suddenly your memory is really clear when you're angry, but when it's just like, this was great, I'm very satisfied, sometimes it's not.
It's true. And, don't be afraid to humble yourself and apologize for your mistakes when you get those bad reviews, or even if you get like a middle of the road review, right? Because just because there's 5 stars available doesn't mean you're always going to get 5 stars. So what if you get that 3-star review? It says like, oh, this was great, but this wasn't. Again, using those as learning experiences, because growth always comes from those mistakes. The other thing that's like key, right? Showcase them.
Oh yeah.
You have to actually show them to people. So I'm not talking about your Google and your Facebook and wherever else you can get normal reviews without really showcasing. But even the Google ones, there's things like Trustpilot, which is a great one to get reviews and showcase. What's the other one?
So tell us.
So Tell Us. Thank you,
Yeah.
Zach. So Tell Us it's not a review site. It's a way to organize and in real time put all of your reviews in one place, and then you could put that on your website. And then there's like API integrations, and you can have all these ones. Every time a new review comes up, it starts cycling through. So don't be afraid to showcase them everywhere, because honestly, most people, when they're looking at a company, that's what they want to see. Is first thing I look at when I'm looking at Amazon is, what do those reviews say?
100%.
And I look at the bad ones for the opposite reason. I want to see if the worst review actually matters to me.
Right. That's a good point.
Sometimes there's a product that's like, oh, well, it's because of this I don't like. I'm like, oh, well, I actually don't need it for that. So that's perfect. If that's the worst of it, I'm good to go.
Right.
So showcase it. Don't be afraid of it. The last thing is one of the places that people forget about sometimes is the BBB, right? BBB is a place that you need to sign up, get accredited, and be able to have reviews coming in. Actually, you don't even have to be accredited, I think, to get reviews on BBB. You just have to be there. You have to have a business in there. So make sure you're doing that, because that's another source of people looking for ways, to review and to talk to you guys.
Well, and I think one of the things about BBB, and I think the reason why some business owners forget to get started with that, is when you're first coming into a business, it almost feels like BBB is that like top tier, like that big level, like, oh, I'm just an entrepreneur. I just got started and, I started a hair salon or whatever. BBB is for like Walmart and Target and like the big companies. But it's not. It's for every level. So there's no reason to not get started with it right away, so that you can start building up, that reputation, that positivity for your company. There's no, just because it's like the giant accredited, like, ooh, the top tier Hall of Fame of reviews, doesn't mean that you as a small entrepreneur can't get started with that early.
Yeah, and even if you don't meet the accreditations, you can still get the reviews. You can still have it on there. So yeah, there are some criteria to be accredited, but until you get there, and also you can find out what they are.
Right, and start
and
building
talk
towards
to the BBB and get those gold points. So that's just my 2 cents about online reviews. They're super important. We work really hard to get them and get them to be honest, and then use them and showcase them, right? So we want to make sure all of that's there. I have 2 quick topics. I know we're running out of time. We got to go on the coaching call in a couple minutes. But one of the videos I just recorded that I'm excited to get out is whether you should buy or rent your next office space. So it'll be out in a couple weeks. I'm not sure exactly what the schedule's like. It's always kind of running, but I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks.
It'll be out. We roll those out on Wednesdays for the full length videos. But if you're looking of where you want to, put your office, location, right? So, attracting employees to work there, and the parking and the lunch spots, and, do you need frontage, right? Do you need that frontage space because you need customers to see you, or do you not care about that because you're like us and you're an online, right? So we don't need to be on a main road. We can be off the beaten path because we don't need that frontage. Although obviously we want a nice building, and we do. We have an amazing building, but it's sometimes you can get a better place by not being on that main stretch of road. So I talk way more about that in that video. So check it out in a couple weeks. I just wanted to kind of highlight that. And then the last piece was Employee Appreciation Week's coming up, right? So Employee Appreciation Week, is that next week? No, it's the week after, right?
I hope not.
I think it's the week.
I'm panicking if it's next week.
It's the week after. So not next week, but the week after. It's a national, thing where it's Employee Appreciation Week, and March 3rd is the actual official Employee Appreciation Day. So the reason I bring that up is if you have one employee or 100 employees, you want to show appreciation to those employees, especially right now, given the climate of, we're on the end cycle of the big walkout that everybody resigned and left working, or, the big, I want to work from home, and getting people in the office is not the easiest way to do it. And you had people who, because of the pandemic, adjusted to one person working now, right? So they never even entered the workforce again. They were able to have that stay-at-home parent again, or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of these weird factors. So keeping employees engaged and feeling appreciated is even more important right now. So, March 3rd is coming up. Make sure you plan something, even if it's small. It doesn't have to be huge. You could just, buy your employees lunch.
Right.
It's not a huge deal. It's really just a little thing. One of the things that we do that costs me $0 is I do a monthly meeting every month here. It's the first Friday of every month. I have the whole company comes together, and I do this pep rally style meeting, and all we do is talk about positive things. We talk about the amazing things that the company did as a whole. We do shout outs to staff. We do shout outs to whole departments. It's just a really fun thing. I do a little giveaway at the end of it. It does cost me a little bit of money for that, but you don't have to do that. But we do a little raffle. Everyone's entered, and we give away some gift cards, and they could be $5 Starbucks cards. Who cares what the thing is? It's all about the fact that they're feeling appreciated.
Right.
But the number one thing you can do for free, this is what I'm going to leave you with, is listen to your staff.
Mm-hmm.
Let your employees give you feedback. Listen to them. Listen to their compliments, their complaints, their suggestions. You don't have to do everything. But the point is, when they feel listened to, and also if they come up with an idea and you actually do it, they feel like they're a part of it, right? That was exciting. Zach, if you're a part of marketing, you guys get to have a lot more feedback than the normal, department. But still, Zach came up with an idea when he was still in negotiations for the ticker. Remember the ticker idea?
Where is that?
It's not, I'm working on it. But my point is, listening to staff is the number one thing you can do that's free. It is 100% free. You can listen to your staff and make changes internally that is benefiting everybody, but more importantly, make sure employees feel listened to. If they feel listened to, it's part of that whole appreciation. It's all part of that same thing. So
amazing.
That is what I'm going to leave you guys with. I know that we were a few minutes late. I'm going to be a few minutes late to coaching, but that's how live goes sometimes. But seriously, don't be afraid to ask questions on our social media, on YouTube, at Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. Also, let us know what you want us to talk about, right? So we're here the third Friday of every month. We start at 3. I might push that up soon, Let's maybe do it 2:30. Maybe we'll switch it to 2:30, give us a little bit more time to talk. But tell me what you want me to talk about. Tell Zach what you want him to talk about. What do you guys want to hear from us? What topics are hot right now? So we do this, like I said, the third Friday of every month, and I will see you there.